Hello everyone, this is Tyler with TEXA Laptops. Now that you're actually inside the IDC4 software, just want to do a quick little overview with you to kind of give you a little bit of background on the software and how you connect to a truck properly. Because that's like the number one thing people have is, hey, how do I connect to a truck? How do I know what I have? What do I do? So let's walk through it. First of all, in the upper right corner, if you're ever on the phone with our tech support people, they may ask you what version you have. This is exactly where you would see it up here. The way this works is it's really a simple menu tree that we go through. The ECM we're going to connect to right now is actually sitting here on my bench. It's not hooked up to a truck, just work here on my workbench. There's nothing connected to it, so we're going to have to do a little fib in here to make sure we can connect to it properly. So let's do it. We're going to do it two different ways. So the first way is we're going to go through American Heavy Duty and Bus. In this case, we're going to pretend that our Cummins ECU I have laying here is actually in a Freightliner. So we'll say we have it in a Freightliner. They'll ask us what engine we have, and we'll say Cummins. So now we're at the screen where we can actually connect to the vehicle for this particular variant. What I don't want people doing is ever going in to any of these three commands. All right, these commands kind of take a shortcut and try to run the command directly. The problem is this. We go in here and we say, let's do an activation test. And then let's go to our engine system. And let's go do a cylinder cutoff test automatic. Great, this is what the customer wants to do. He hits the button to do it. Wait, hello, none of these are actually for engines. So they're in the completely wrong area to begin with. Then they go down here to cylinder performance test. All right, this is what I want to do. I want to do a cylinder performance test. They hit the start button and they go and it doesn't work. Well, the reason it doesn't work is because this right here is saying this only works on EPA 2007, 10, and 13. It doesn't work on my 2004 emission engine ECU that I have sitting here. So customers are constantly going into the wrong areas, calling in saying, hey, it doesn't work, I can't do it, what's going on? And we come in here and find they're in this screen. So what we want you to do is do it this way. We want you to go all the way back out to here. This is where we were at before. And we want you to go down to diesel injection. And we want you to pick the engine you have. So when you see these EPA 07, 10, 13, that doesn't necessarily mean the model year of your truck. It means the emission year of the engine. It can get a little confusing. But what will happen if it doesn't work is it'll give you a Re-Energize error. So I'll show you what happens when you do the wrong one. But let's do the right one first. So I already know that my engine I have sitting here, it's a 2003. So I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to hit the start button. So when we connect to it, the first thing it's doing, it says wait for device initializing. It's actually talking to my TXT box. It wants to make sure it can see that box first before it lets you go any further. It says turn the key on. My key's already on. I'll hit confirm. And we're connected to the ECU. So that's the way it's supposed to work. I'm going to X out of here and go back one. What I see here now on the when the menu comes back up, let's do the wrong one just so you can get an idea of what happens here. I'm going to hit the start button. It says wait for device initializing again. This is good. You always want to see that and be initialized. What it's doing here is it's actually sending files from your computer to the TXT box to make sure it's set up for the correct ECU variants. You'll notice on some of the other more difficult ones like a Caterpillar, it takes a little bit of time. It's sending a lot of files so it can do that proprietary Caterpillar protocol. So again, turn the ignition on, we hit confirm. It says ECU Not Recognized. So you'll get this error, you'll get Re-Energize errors. It just means you have the wrong ECU selected. If you're sure you have the right one selected and you're getting this error, please call us immediately so one of our tech people can jump in here to help figure out what's going on. So I'll hit the confirm button. Actually, I'll hit the cancel button there. There we go. There's the communication interrupted Re-Energize error. That's the one you'll see a lot as well. So just means we have the wrong one selected. If you ever do not know what you have, and you're not sure what engine's in it or what year, you can always do the system scan. The system scan will take a couple minutes in order for it to complete. So we'll do that here maybe at the end of the video and let it run and then pop it back in just so everyone can see without having me sit here for 3 minutes making small talk while we try to wait for it to be done. The other way is this. So here's an example. I had a customer call and says, hey, I got your tool. I have an MCI bus with a Cummins. I can't connect to it. So he went in right where he should, American Heavy Duty and Bus. He went in here. He's like, oh, MCI is not listed. How the heck do I connect to it? Well, there's two ways. You could just lie to it and tell it it's actually a Freightliner or International or something else with the Cummins. The other way you can do it is you go to the Diagnosis button up here. Then you go to Powertrain. And from Powertrain, you would click on Engine. And then Cummins. And then again, do not use these buttons. Just go right down here to Diesel Injection. And you will see the same exact options are available down here. So we'll click the Start button on the one that we know we have. And in this case now, because it doesn't know what we're connecting to, we went right to Powertrain. We didn't tell it that it was a bus, a generator, whatever it may be. So it's actually trying to say, hey, what cable are you going to use? Are you going to use this cable or are you going to use this cable? Most times, 99% of the time, you're picking the top option. I'll hit OK. And now it's going to give you some ideas on where the possible ECU connection points could be. We hit the checkbox. All right, turn the ignition on, confirm. And again, we're now connected to the same exact ECU, just a second way of doing it. All right, I will click the X to get out of here. So there's a couple other options we want to just make you aware of. They're a little bit more advanced. You'll probably never go into them. We at least want to make you aware of them. So let me go back over here to Diagnose. And if I click on American Heavy Duty, what I want you to watch over here is on the left. Things will start changing on the left side as we kind of drill down to what we're looking at. So we'll do American Heavy Duty and Bus. And right away, the first one that pops up is this HD Standard Protocol. And what this is just a standard generic scanner that we sometimes have to use for really old trucks, or if we're just having issues. Example being, we had a customer could not connect to his vehicle at all, and we come to find out the J1939 protocol was just broken. The J1708 was working, but the J1939 was broken. So between kind of working with our tech team and diagnosing and using the standard protocol, we were able to figure out where the issue on the vehicle laid. So again, let's just cheat and go down to Freightliner. Now we're getting some other information, technical data sheets, where it'll give you more info. We can click down into Cummins, and now we're getting even more. So now we're getting things like wiring diagrams and customer management. And we'll cover those in later videos. The wiring diagrams we can talk about right now. Click on wiring diagrams on our Cummins and our Freightliner. It's giving us some wiring diagrams for the ABS and the diesel injection. We'll click on diesel injection, and we'll just randomly click on any one of these. So it'll load the diagrams up for this particular model. And what we have in here is a wiring diagram from TEXA, giving you some basic information. They do have some new tools they'll be coming out with in the near future. If I click on one of them, you'll see there's a manual mode. This is for an oscilloscope that they will be coming out with here later in the year once the FCC approval gives. We can click on image, and it'll give us a little picture of exactly what that relay is supposed to look like. So let's just click back out of here. And again, your navigation menu is up here. This is the easiest, most simple way to get where you're going. The only other spot I might recommend that we ever go into, if I click on the menu tab, which is actually one back, there's some things we do in here, mainly from our tech side of it, where we'll be in here doing a variety of just diagnostics or customer setup or Bluetooth troubleshooting if any kind of issues arise. But again, if you happen to end up here, just click back on Diagnose. You're right back to the exact same place where you started. So thank you for watching the video, and be sure to watch the others.